Fall is my absolute favorite time of year. It's when we spend most of our time in the mountains, restocking our freezers with wild game meat. The days grow shorter, the mornings turn crisp, and the aspens shift into a vibrant yellow. It's a season to pause, to reflect on the busy summer, and to find some much-needed solitude in my favorite wild places. There's no warmth quite like a wood fire, and the smell of smoke when it drifts through the air, mingling with the freshness of the late-season rainstorms. The summer haze clears, leaving behind breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. Our equine's coats grow long and thick, insulating them against the dropping temperatures as the world prepares for a quiet cold winter. Here in the Mountain West, we are blessed with 4 very distinct seasons. I love watching the changes of each one, but autumn has always carried something special. Something that truly refreshes my soul. With the changing of the season comes preparation for winter. Firewood needs to be split, hay hauled and stacked high in the barn, tank heaters put back into the water troughs, and the chicken coop refreshed with bedding and heat. Every chore is a reminder that the long, still days of winter are just around the corner. Well, we've been gone for the last 3 weeks, which is pretty crazy. Feels good to be home. So today is really exciting. I got a hackamore for my birthday, and by hackamore, this is what I'm talking about. We got a bosal, I got a hanger, and a macate. And so Jason surprised me with this. He went up to Montana. There's a shop called Buckaroo Businesses, and our friend Reed Vite helped him get everything I needed. And so Clyde is to the point where he's starting to progress out of the snaffle and into the hackamore. So that's really, really exciting. So today is the first time I'm going to put this on Clyde and get it all set up. And so we're going to show you that process, but we need to winterize the chicken coop real quick. We made a stop at Murdoch's, picked up a bunch of supplies for the chickens, so we're going to get that all cleaned up. Then we're going to ride Clyde, and then we'll do a little update on Rooster and how he's doing as well. So that should be pretty awesome. So anyway, I'm really excited for this, but we got a couple chores to do first, then we can get into this.
Yeah. Winter is coming.
Jason's right, winter is coming, and that means I like to get a little extra source of protein for my chickens to help them stay warm. I'm also going to try this mixed flock feed. It looks like good stuff, and we'll see how the chickens do on it. Besides bedding and chicken feed, Murdoch now stocks chicks in the fall, which I think is brilliant because fall's a great time to get some new chickens, keep them in a brooder when it's cold outside, let them loose in your coop, and then let them go in the springtime when everything's warm and greening up. It was really hard to say no to some more chicks right now, but we have a super busy fall and I'm not going to be around, so I did well just looking and not buying any more chickens at this time. We have big plans to build a chicken coop greenhouse combo, but somehow that project has escaped us yet again this year so far. We always end up getting busier than we think we're going to be, and then this year with traveling on the road so much with Ty Evans' mulemanship, we really were gone a lot. This old barn was the chicken coop when we moved into this place, and we fixed it up a little bit and made it work over the years. I'm hoping that this year will actually be the last winter that we keep the chickens in here, and by next spring we can have a new chicken coop that is better insulated for them, and then we can make this area into more storage and things like that for lawnmowers, just stuff like that. With the new bedding in, it was time to change out these light bulbs. I always like to get new heat lamp bulbs every winter. Last thing I want is for the old ones to burn out in the middle of a really cold night. We also had a couple bales of hay that had some mold in them, so we set those out of the barn when we restocked on the new hay this year. And I'm going to spread these out into the chicken run since they're not good enough to feed to the mules. I definitely don't want to feed the mules anything with mold or mildew on it, but it'll make great bedding for the chickens to keep the mud down as we get more and more fall rain. Give them a little treat. I'll hide it in their little calcium bucket. I'll be excited whoever finds that. I'll be pretty excited. Alright, nice and cozy in here. They got their old hay out there, got their nice sawdust in here, refreshed their nesting boxes, got our heat lamps up, so we are all winterized, which is good. Winterized.
Same thing.
Same thing. So I'm going to try to use our little timer. So the current time's 2 o'clock, so I got that set. We're going to have our heat lamps come on from 10 p.m. until 7 a.m. because that's when it's coldest. And that way they're not going all day, because right now it's still warm during the day. So we don't need them to be on just at night for the chickens. So now we can plug in our extension cord to this and plug this into our outlet. And it should have a little timer on. With the chicken coop all warm and cozy and prepared for the winter, it's time to go for a little ride. So one new way I've learned this summer, some of you might already know it, to tie up your equine. So you take your rope like this, make a loop in it, you pass that around your post. I'll tie it loose right now so Clyde's face stays out of the way. You're going to run your horse end through the loop, and then you're going to pick up your tail. You're going to run that through that loop. So when it's all tight and pulled tight, it's a slip knot. You could run this through the very end and lock it. That way if they like chew on this like Clyde does, he can't untie himself. But then you pull it through and it's done. You don't have to run it all the way around the pole. You have to be careful with this one though, because don't get your fingers pinched. And if you have extra, you can daisy chain it and then lock that. So that way if they pull on this, they can't untie themselves, but all you have to do is pick that up and it's a slip knot again. You're always so dirty. So, common question or comment that people have is, why do we ride in a bit? People have this opinion that bits are really harsh, that they hurt the horse's mouth, and while that can be true, it really depends on the rider and how good their hands are, and if you're trying to teach your horse and train your horses to be soft, or if you're just trying to control them with pain and things like that. So there definitely are bits out there that have been created to cause pain to horses. Like there's some that are made out of bicycle chains. You can get really severe with them. We would never use those or recommend using those. The bits we start all of our horses in is just a smooth snaffle. O-rings or D-ring snaffles They are usually made out of sweet iron with copper inlays. This is the Jeremiah Watt snaffle. He makes really nice snaffle bits. And they're just a simple snaffle bit. Now, if you have really bad hands, you can make this bit somewhat severe. But the point of starting them in this is to get them really, really soft to where when we pick up on these macate reins, that's going to mean something to them. We want this to mean something. So just that little bit of movement, right? We shouldn't have to pull on it. Hopefully that's the goal. So once they're going in a snaffle bit really well, they're nice and soft. They have good timing when we ask them to pick up. Then we're going to move to a hackamore. And by hackamore, we mean bosal, hanger, and macates, not a mechanical hackamore. The thing you have to know about bitless bridles, we have no issue against bitless bridles. This is our form of a bitless bridle, and it's just a progression to get to a finished bridle horse or bridle mule. We do the snaffle first, then move into the hackamore. There are more traditional ways of starting with the hackamore and then moving to the 2-rein and then straight into the bridle. There are people that just want to ride in a bitless bridle. You do have to realize that you still need to check your horse's teeth. If your horse or mule have sharp points that are causing sores in their mouth, in their cheeks, that bitless bridle is going to hit right there and it's going to be pushing that sore into their teeth. So even though you're riding bitless, you need to be checking their dental care, make sure that they don't have any sharp points, make sure they don't have any sores in their mouth. Same with a bit. If you're going to ride with a bit, you need to be having the vet check your equine preferably once a year. If they're younger or older and their teeth are really changing, even twice a year is great. And just make sure there's no pain in there, so either way. But bits can be as non-severe or severe as you make them, basically. So this is really the only bit we ever buy, other than hopefully someday we'll be in a spade bit, but at that point the purpose is to not even really need to pick up on the bit once you're in a spade bit. So on our snaffles we run macate reins. Traditionally these would be made out of horsehair, like my macates are here on my hackamore. So they have these slobber straps on them, they're called, and the purpose of these are more so that if your horse gets a drink of water, you're not getting your macate reins wet, because these horsehair reins will deteriorate if they get wet a lot. So these leather are easy to replace and you don't have to replace your whole macate. However, the weight of these reins is also really nice, because those slobber straps, when you let go, it's releasing a lot faster than a normal rein would be on your bit. So that's why we have these on here. Traditionally they would be just so your macate doesn't get wet. A lot of times we use just a rope macate, whether it's made out of yacht rope or some other synthetic. This is just like regular lead rope material. But we like macates. You have the lead portion and then you have the rein portion, and we run slobber straps on all of our setups. So when we're getting our horses started, before we progress into the bosal, we want them riding off of our seat and legs as much as possible. We also want that to mean something to them. As soon as that slobber strap comes up and makes a little contact with that bit, ideally that would mean something to them. Now it doesn't always, depending on if they're mentally having a hard time, maybe they're a little amped or whatever, but in a perfect situation that would mean something to them. They would be giving to this bit and we would never have to pull on them. So that's our goal, trying to work on our timing and our feel to get to where our equines are nice and soft, and a simple snaffle means a lot to them. That's the way we do it. But since Clyde has come along really well in the snaffle, he's to the point now where we're going to start working on things in the hackamore. So there's definitely going to be times where we probably have to go back to the snaffle. He's having an off day, or is like more mentally stimulated. But we're going to try to progress into the hackamore and then continue on to the 2-rein and then eventually straight up in the bridle. So I hope that made sense to you guys. We have nothing against bitless bridles or bits. As long as your goal is to become the best horseman or muleman you can be, you are working towards building a partnership with your equine, and their comfort isn't ignored, then to each their own, and use what works for you and your equine. No, do not eat my macates. No, is it so different? It's so different? You cannot eat them. Okay, sir. Do not chew on those. Do not chew on those. All right, Clyde. Such a big head. I almost think I need to take a wrap out. We'll try one wingspan of me first and just see if that's a good measurement. All right, clockwise. No, don't bite them. Why do you want to chew on these so much? Let's see. Here. That seems better. Try to chew on that tassel. What a goober. Oh, Clyde, you look so handsome. We're gonna try that. He just wants to chew on this little tassel. Okay, Bob. See how you go as a hackamore mule.
Sure looks
You
good.
look so fancy. I like this black and white on him. It's very handsome. I like the traditional classic look instead of the bright colors. I think it's interesting how many people still believe the old saying that mules are stubborn. In reality, mules simply have a strong sense of self-preservation. If they see something they perceive as dangerous, they're going to stop and question it. But when you take the time to build trust and a relationship, even those questionable moments don't take long to work through. On the trail, if one of our mules really refuses, it's usually because they've noticed something we haven't. Maybe a snake in the brush or a hidden hole in the grass. We do our best to listen when they sense something's off, and in return, they do their best to trust us and go along with what we ask. With patience and understanding, we found mules to be thoughtful, willing partners, not stubborn at all. I'm already excited for next year's Mule Week. Clyde and I are going to keep improving, and hopefully we'll do even better when we come back. In the meantime, we're signed up for Ty Evans' Masterclass, a year-long online course that really dives deep into mulemanship. And it's not just for mules, horses and donkeys are welcome too. The Masterclass gives you step-by-step training, access to Ty's knowledge all year long, and a community of like-minded horsemen and mulemen to learn alongside. There are a ton of lessons that you can progress through. Enrollment for the January class is opening up soon, which is perfect timing if you want to enroll someone or yourself for a Christmas gift. You can sign up by going to tsmules.com. The link is also in the description below. There you go. Nice. Oh, yes. Back into good. Good job. Good job. Well, Clyde sure is doing good in his hackamore. He had a couple moments of confusion. It's a lot different feel than a bit. He did good. I mean, it's very different than a snaffle. And obviously my legs and my seat are the same, so that's why it's really important to build a foundation of those before you switch it up and progress. But he's doing really good. So I'm sure there'll be times where I'll probably put him back in the snaffle and use that, and then back into the hackamore, and we'll just keep progressing through the progressions, and then eventually get to the 2 rein and hopefully straight up in the bridle. Have a bridle meal. That would be awesome. That's my goal with him. We got a little bit of a late start. You know, he was a pretty green 4-year-old when we bought him and already had some bad habits. So we worked really hard over the last 4-ish years to get him soft and mentally sound, and he's starting to really become a nice mule now. Just in this like last year, really, he's made some huge changes, and I'm sure proud of him. So that's pretty exciting. I think he looks so handsome in his hackamore.
He looks awesome. That black looks really nice on him.
Classy boy. Yeah. You look like the real deal, Clyde. Well, we've been gone a lot. Been at Mule Week. If you guys have been enjoying those series, this one's kind of splitting up the series. We'll have one more episode coming out next week. But we've been gone a lot on the road doing that stuff. We've been hunting with some family of ours. Jason's dad had an elk take, so we've been gone doing that. But anyway, Rooster has had a lot of time off, and we just got home a couple days ago, and I put one ride on Rooster and he did awesome. So it was good to see that he can mentally handle a break and come back and not regress a bunch. But I'm gonna go ahead and put another ride on him today and just keep regressing with him so that we can get him out in the mountains, and we'll give you guys a little update on him since it's been mostly Clyde lately. He's kind of stolen the show lately, huh? He's a cool dude too, though. Yeah. I'm sure proud of my boy Clyde. He is really becoming a reliable mountain partner and a fun companion in the arena. If you haven't yet, go check out our Mule Week series and watch how Clyde did competing in ranch trail, cow working, reining, barrel racing, and a whole lot more. I'll link the playlist in the description below. Well, Mr. Rooster's sure doing good. He's been doing good getting tacked up over at the tack room, and then I lead him up here in the round pen with the saddle on. He's tied up with a blocker, so he's not like tied hard, but he's not been pulling any slack through that. He's been doing really good. So he's had 3 weeks off. I've ridden him one time since then, and I actually lost count of how many times I've ridden him. This will be somewhere around ride 10. Unfortunately, we really just haven't had that much time lately, but I've been putting rides on him as I can. And so we're just going to kind of do the same thing we've been doing. We'll walk, trot, and lope both ways, work on stopping and backing just a little bit, rolling the hinds, and then I've been adding, just working on getting that front foot to reach, connecting the rein to his front feet. So we keep the rides pretty short still. He's only a 3-year-old. He turned 3 in April, so he's like almost 3.5. But, you know, he's pretty young, mentally and physically, so their attention span's pretty short. And so anyway, we just keep it short, we keep it positive, and I'm going to do some groundwork first. I always just want to check on that and make sure he's mentally prepared for me to climb on, because I don't want any bad experiences if I can help it, for me or him. So we'll get to some groundwork, and I'll show you guys kind of what I do, and then get on him and ride him. He's sure a good boy. It's warm today. He's already feeling sleepy. The last time I rode him, he was a little on the lazy side, so we'll see if he's feeling that way again today. Rooster has been doing so well. We adopted him 6 months ago as a completely untouched wild Mustang, and I don't think I could have picked out a better one. I'm not going to say he won't ever buck, but knock on wood, he hasn't tried it with me in the saddle. He seems very confident so far, although he hasn't been ridden in other environments. As we progress, my plan is to continue going slow and make sure he's ready for it to the best of my ability. I'll link his playlist in the description below. You can watch from us picking him out, to picking him up, to where we are today with him. The first touch, the first haltering, the first trailer ride, his first outing, his first ride. We have tried to document all of it, and hopefully it's helpful for those of you who might want to adopt a Mustang or have recently adopted a Mustang. We always work a little bit on disengaging the hindquarters. This is also known as rolling the hinds. And this is a very simple move, but will help set him up for a lot of different things in the future, such as when we go to start bringing his front end around and teaching him how to spin eventually. I'm not critical on him if he wants to slow down. I let him make the change, and then I ask him for whatever gait we were in previously. I would rather him be thinking about rating and stopping than going faster at this point. this side. Yeah. Yeah. So good. You're so good. You are so good. Don't clobber me in the face. Now you're just being rude. Well, there we go. Another successful ride. 2 rides since he's had 3 weeks off, and just right where I left him. So he's such a good horse. He's got such a good mind, and not working on anything too fancy. He's very green. Like I said, this was ride 8 to 10, somewhere in there. So haven't put a ton of rides on him, but just been working on the basics and getting him ready. Hopefully soon we'll have time. Our fall's really filling up, but hopefully we'll have time soon where we can take him out and do a little ride with him out of the corral. So he's about ready for that, I think. And yeah, just doing awesome. He's a pretty awesome horse, and I'm so thankful for him. So there's a Rooster update for you. Still doing great. Still a sweet boy. Huh. You are. You're just a good boy. You're so goofy. Yeah. Just a goofy. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates and adventures with our herd. We're trying to reach 100K subscribers, so it would mean a ton if you would subscribe or share our channel with someone you know who would really enjoy it. See you next time.